Hello, so this is May Ann Mulat Ygot from the AB Literature. Okay, so out of the 3 assigned readings from the last week, well, it is not to be denied that I have chosen ABNKKBSNPLAKO that was actually written by Bob Ong. So, aside from the fact that it was actually written in a funny way, it is because Bob Ong really actually talks about his life. It actually, the story itself really interests me the most because I could really, I could really picture out the differences between the oldies and the modernized generation these days. So, from that, we would be able to know about my book review and at the same time my recommendations, the brief analysis, and at the same time also the literary theory or the literary criticism that would be, that would perfectly fit from the said book. So let's find it out. Okay, so for the recommendations, if I have the chance to bestow my rating from the said book or movie, I would love to give a 90 over 100 rating. It is not that bad to give a 90 over 100 rating, otherwise, there are actually varieties of things and scenes that needs to be improved, but it is only a little bit. The recommendation is actually in accordance to me, and one of the recommendations that I would love to tell is that the author or the director should have had put a little thrill in order for the readers or viewers to be astounded, nor put them into confusion as to why it happened, although the genre was a combination of how grown up until he had went his life after college. The story had regaled the readers, but still, I will give a big thumbs up. Bob Ong's Aba Nakakabasa Ka Na Pala is actually a nostalgic account of his life in school. Throughout the book, we could say that Ong's renowned humor is actually well spread. He also has the ability of adding a humorous twist of any dismal event in his life in school, adding metaphors and funny lines to enliven the book. Towards the end of the volume, he also, or as what you have known, that he turns out to be very sentimental and serious, considering that he was able to cite many things about school and life in general. In closing, he relates a visit to his alma mater, his reminiscing years of bygone of events that have become nothing but memories. He also have explained there that I have revisited the place, but not the times. Okay, so since it is written in Filipino, of course, foreigners will not find much humor in this book unless they have at least basic command in our language. However, Pinoys everywhere must have this book in their collection. It is because, aside from the fact that this is humorous, this is also entertaining, perhaps a desirous read worthy of your time. So, maybe those people who have studied in public school, just like me, can relate to this book. It actually shows a lot of common things in a government school. He actually told the story in a very funny way when he was still in elementary up until he was in high school and in college. But however, when he talked about his college life, it turned out to be very serious. You can also read in this book how life can be twisted by destiny. Do you believe in destiny? Okay, so it also shows the importance of education through sometimes it shows the bad things about public school. So actually, the book Aba Nakakabasa Ka Na Pala is a very inspiring one that was only told in a very funny way. You can really feel the author's view towards life, yet it is not all about having a good laugh, but learning from it. Okay, so for me, I kind of fell in love with the book because of how the author shared his thoughts. True but not serious, he also knows how to divert the reader's feeling from being touched by it to having fun. I love the way it was written. Actually, the font used was was the sequence of events. But I guess you just don't want to miss the last part. Have you read the last part of the book Aba Nakakabasa Ka Na Pala? Actually, I guess you don't. It's because you were able to read the summary. Okay, so I just hope that, since I'm not really fond in Filipino, I just hope that they would be able to publish it using a Filipino language, or using a English language or an English version of Aba Nakakabasa Ka Na Pala. So thank you. Okay, so one of the literary theory or literary criticism that we would apply to this book, Aba Nakakabasa na pala ko, that was again written by Bob Ong, is what we call as a autobiography novel. So, autobiography novel really talks about the life of the author, and for now, let's talk about the life of the author now. Okay, so Roberto Ong is also known as Bob Ong, whose real name is unknown, wrote his first and most popular humor autobiography novel entitled Aba, Nakakabasa na pala ko, or in English, it is roughly translated as Wow, I can actually read now. Or this is what we call as a mga kwentong chok ni Bob Ong. So this novel is actually published and had an unexpected hit way back in 2001 by Visual Print Enterprises. Aba Nakakabasa na pala ko by Bob Ong is written in Filipino and aims to share the author's recollection from his childhood life until his few years at work. So, the book actually discusses about the author's journey as a student and at the same time as an educator to convince the wistfulness of primary, secondary, and tertiary school encounters. The story also delineates the Filipino culture, but, amusingly, it also uncovers the social issues and realities, specifically in the field of education and economy. So that was it. So I am hoping that you were able to enjoy my book review, and at the same time, you were able to learn about the book Aba Nakakabasa ka na pala that was authored by Bob Ong, or ang mga kwentong chok ni Bob Ong. So, anhira ko kutob, daghang salamat!